Breaking right now, a Trish Regan primetime exclusive. Jerome Corsi says he is a target caught up in an overly wide-reaching Mueller probe. And tonight, he tells us he has brand new evidence that the FBI is illegally, if not criminally, collecting surveillance on his family and friends. All of this ahead of a federal court hearing for his lawsuit against the government in just days. Joining me right now, conservative author Dr. Jerome Corsi. Welcome back. I'm a Freudian slip there because I wanted to tell people about your new ebook, Silent No More, which is available online right now. You sort of go through every single moment, every single day in this horrific chapter of your life, which is ongoing. Tell us what's happened now.
Well, Trish, it's fairly shocking. I mean, right now, I've got evidence that the FBI and Mueller's team are now harassing my family. They're doing door knocks on my stepson. They're parking surveillance vans with 2 agents in it outside the places where various members of my family work. I mean, my children have done nothing wrong. My wife, I've been married to for 27 years, and now they're going to try to make them criminals. I mean, this is harassing my family is beyond bounds, and I won't stand for it.
Jerome, what is it that they think that you have? Why are they so desperate to get to you?
Well, I think they hate me. They're horrifically mad because this last 20 hours of my interrogation, which is in Silent No More, step by step, was all about me connecting Roger Stone to Assange. And that's what you had to have had a connection. I didn't. I don't know Julian Assange. I've never communicated with him in any form. Mm-hmm. I've never communicated with anybody who told me what Assange was going to do. But for these last 20 hours, it was a nightmare with them frowning and yelling at me. One of the prosecutors, Jeannie Rhee, was ridiculing my belief in God. And another one of them, Aaron Zelinsky, ridiculed my writings. He said everything, he'd read all my works and listened to my live chats, and I take a fact from here and here. It's all lies. I mean, it's political. This is entirely political, and they hate me evidently.
So they wanted you to deliver up something which you couldn't deliver up because you've said, look, I didn't know Assange, and I didn't have anything to do with taking these emails. Maybe I pieced 2 and 2 together that he had them.
Right.
And you've walked us through your logic on that. You said he had to have had them because he hadn't released them earlier. You believed he did. And so because of that, because you were smart enough, I guess, to figure it out, somehow now you're a criminal.
Well, they wanted me to lie or fabricate this connection to, as soon as they could connect the dots. And these prosecutors virtually said this to me. We want to go from Donald Trump, then we connect this to Roger Stone, and you're Jerome Corsi. The whole conspiracy turns on you, which is ridiculous. Then you'll connect to Assange, and then they'll connect back to
Trump. The Russians?
Yeah, to the Russians. I mean, I said to them repeatedly, why don't you ask Julian Assange? He said to everybody, including Fox News, Sean Hannity, the Russians did not give him the emails. They won't prove the predicate of their case. Instead, they want to harass my family.
Where are they with the Ecuadorians? Don't forget that Assange is hanging out at the embassy in Ecuador. Can't they get their hands on his server via the Ecuadorians?
Well, I would think so.
Do they have to bother you?
But they don't even want to get the server, the DNC email server that's hidden away in the DNC right today. They instead think that maybe my stepson, who they knock on the door unannounced, and they say, we have a text message that you scrubbed a computer. Were you destroying evidence? He laughed at him. He said he had an old computer he wasn't using. My mother, his wife, wanted to use it in her business. He said, why don't you come and get this for Monica instead of buying a new one? We're not destroying evidence. I mean, they're harassing everybody. My family, my friends now have all been visited by the FBI.
You mentioned there were SUVs parked outside one of your family's places of work. What do you mean an SUV?
Well, a black SUV, suburban-type vehicle.
How do you know it just wasn't an SUV?
Well, I mean, it was 2 FBI agents. This is a neighborhood in Newark, which is the FBI was under surveillance the moment they got there. I got phone calls that said, "Do you know where they're parked now?" I mean, this person who has this business is a very close friend, a very dear friend, very, very well known. And it's a tight little community.
They were the same vehicle, just basically tracking your family.
3 days, stalking that business.
So that's kind of scary.
Very
right?
scary.
I mean, for your family members.
My family have done nothing. Why is my family now under surveillance? Why are they criminals? It's absolutely out of bounds.
Is it because you've dared to fight back? Let's not forget,
Yes.
you're suing $350 million. You're suing Mueller and the rest of the feds for this violation of privacy and a violation of your rights. Are they saying, how dare you, Jerome Corsi, mess with us?
Well, they can take a hike, you know, because my attorney, Larry Klayman, has just added these to the complaints. The criminal complaint we had before Attorney General, Acting Attorney General Whitaker. Now, if he's not a deep state agent, we're not going to let him lie without taking seriously that complaint. And Inspector General Horowitz. And next week, on the 3rd, right after New Year's, we have a hearing before Judge Leon in U.S. Federal District Court on the $350 million lawsuit. And I can prove they've been doing electronic surveillance, I think through the FISA court, maybe back to the NSA, since I wrote Unfit for Command with John O'Neill, a Swippo book against John Kerry. Have I been under surveillance all that time?
And you think it's because you're considered a political threat whom they do not like? I mean, you know, you're a journalist and you're digging around. There's a big difference between doing some digging and publishing a book and actually being a criminal who conspired with the Russians to somehow get all those...
they hate my current book,
emails.
Killing the Deep State. They hate this new expose I've published, Silent No More, where I tell people what it's like to be, you know, 30 hours in this closed room, an FBI room, no windows, and they act up. They all walk out of the room. They say to my attorney, they're going to put me in jail for the rest of my life. I sit in this, pace around this room for an hour, no cell phone, no laptop. I mean, we can prove now that they're releasing information from the grand jury illegally to defame me. I mean, this. So
the January 3rd hearing.
Yes.
You were telling me earlier today, I believe I saw an email from someone in the federal government on the Mueller team saying, okay, well, we're not going to be able to do this because we have a government shutdown going on right now.
Which was ridiculous because the shutdown doesn't affect Mueller. And we have evidence, Larry Klayman has evidence today, the various Department of Justice lawyers are going to be working with Mueller through the shutdown. They don't want to go to court on this $350 million lawsuit. They're going to lose.
Did you ever think you'd get wrapped up in something like this?
No, it's really kind of a shocking. This could happen to any American. That's the scaring point. You get on the wrong side of these. Their power is unlimited. They could have 50 FBI agents full-time watching everything I do. I'm sure, you know, this program will be scrutinized. I'm sure everything I've said and done, my cell phones are listened to. I'm sure I'm still under, they're determined to find some crime. And what's frustrating them is I haven't committed any crimes. I'm 72 years old, and neither is my family.
And you're fighting back.
And fighting back, and we're going to continue fighting back. If it takes us to go to the Supreme Court with the $350 million lawsuit, I'm going to do it. Because this is not justice in America. It's got to stop.
Flynn couldn't do this. Michael Cohen couldn't do this. They found other things that were problematic for them, including some of Michael Cohen's dealings here in New York. So they look and they look and they look. As you've said, you know, they've got a blank check to keep on looking. Eventually they find something. But with you?
Well, Trish, my faith in God is very strong. As I said in the program, Jesus Christ, my personal Lord and Savior. I'm not here to cheat and steal and do all kinds of other things. I mean, I'm here to try to live as good a life as I can, as failed human being as I am. And the family is the same. The family has never committed a single crime in any of us. And now we're under massive FBI surveillance where I don't know if they're going to, is Dad going to be hauled away on New Year's Day? I don't know, maybe. You know, are we going to lose the house? Because they put you under severe economic pressure. This should not happen to any American. I've done nothing wrong. And what's frustrating to them is they can't find a crime, despite how desperately they're looking.
Well, you keep fighting. Dr. Corsi, keep fighting.
They can take a hike.